Shemai Brindiai and welcome back to my channel. My name's CaitlinAnwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get back into building in Planet Zoo. And today, April 6th, is International Asexuality Day, and I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with today's build because it is International Asexuality Day. I thought I would build a bakery. If that's not quite making sense, there is a common kind of joke that has been sort of adopted on the internet, I don't know, which is I'd rather eat cake. So I thought I would take the common ace phrase, I guess, and make a bakery called I'd rather eat cake, with the Bernie's Bakes shop counter. A shorter way of saying asexual is ace, so I'm probably gonna carry on the whole video just saying ace if you're getting slightly confused with the terms. And if you haven't heard of asexuality before, or you're not quite sure what it is, there's an amazing website which is Avon, and it's the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, and I will link the website in the description. And the definition on the asexuality website is: an asexual person does not experience sexual attraction. And it says it does not make our lives any worse or better, we just face a different set of needs and challenges than most allos do. And allo's just the opposite of ace, basically, so that can mean any sort of identity other than being ace. And if you didn't already know, I am ace myself. But for the build, I wanted to finish off the spring section of my season's zoo because we're getting a brand new DLC next week, and I thought the sort of ace theme would fit well in with the spring section because the day is obviously in April, it is in spring, and I went with a European style, and the color scheme for the whole build is going to be based on the colors in the Ace Pride Flag. If you didn't know what the Ace Pride Flag looked like, it actually looks like this: black, grey, white and purple, hence the outfit. I didn't specifically recolor my hair for just this video, but it does help with my whole aesthetic to try and go with the ace theme. The doorway entrance is angled inwards, so we can have a little bit of a variation there, and I didn't like any of the windows. If I didn't know we were getting an animal pack next, I would be asking for more windows and doors for a DLC. Like, I wouldn't want it to go the route that Sims 4 went with like those kits, but I would pay to just have build objects like extra windows and doors in a DLC pack for Planet Zoo. So this actually took a lot longer to build because I was building pretty much everything from scratch. For the front windows, I wanted these windows to be open and not just like the fake Planet Zoo ones, because directly behind where the camera is right now, so in front of this bakery, is the Eiffel Tower capuchin monkey habitat. So I thought it was like really cute that you could go into this bakery, grab yourself a cupcake and sit by the windows and actually see the Eiffel Tower. But I didn't want to just do regular square windows. I kind of wanted to go with the like angles that I'd made the doorway, but make them bay windows instead, so these ones stick out and the entrance goes inwards. Just have a little bit of a variation, make it feel a little bit more fancy. And like with most of my more complicated builds, I do like to split the groups up from the main building, so the windows are a separate group to the walls of the building, just so I can duplicate them easier, move them around easier, and I don't end up accidentally deleting something that I don't want to delete. So just doing the top and bottom of the bay windows so we don't have just like random holes outside of the window. But I thought the bakery was a really just cute idea. It didn't necessarily have to be for anything specifically ace. It's more of a if you know type of thing. Obviously I'm explaining it here, but if someone just stumbled across this build on Steam, it's still just a bakery. The whole I'd rather eat cake. I know I'm ace, but I can think of a few different activities that I would rather eat cake than doing, like housework, dusting. Oh, I hate dusting. Being a PC owner and not enjoying dusting is just not an ideal thing. But I'm just playing around with trying to make the sign for the bakery now. Custom font is tricky because it acts as a group. It doesn't align to surface like the Planet Zoo font does. I would recommend placing it down straight away so it's aligned to the world axis, and then split the alphabet up into separate groups because this one in particular is just one whole group. Then duplicate the letter group rather than moving the letters, so you can have the letters there separate to whatever sign you're creating. If the duplication line isn't in the straight line, you can then change the axis of the advanced move tool and you can toggle from relative to world axis, and you can flip from either one. It's probably easiest to go from world axis if you keep everything aligned. I put it in a speech bubble instead of a rectangle because I thought it looked a bit more interesting for a sign. It kind of shows that like only some people would say that, I guess. Like, you know, you can have an ace person that doesn't like cake. I think we found some. I constantly scrolling through the ace subreddit. That is such a good resource as well. I made my life even more difficult with these side windows. I don't know why I didn't make sure that any of this was in line with any grid so I could place them easier, but like the size of the window itself is not like an even size, so it's really hard to kind of build around these windows. But I wanted the windows on the sides to be open as well. Obviously this doesn't always have to be just about asexuality. It is just a bakery. It's about cake too. What's your favorite flavor of cake? Very stereotypical of me, but I really love cake. But I think it'd have to be chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. I think that's one of my favorites. You can't go wrong with just a basic vanilla cake, or a red velvet with vanilla frosting is really good, but my favorite would probably have to be chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. But what's your favorite flavor of cake? And I was just trying to line the insides of the windows with plaster panels, and I thought they looked like really funky bookshelves. So they were really fun, and just because it's a bakery doesn't mean that it can't be like a kind of little library as well. Just done this very personal, I guess. But if you haven't heard about the new Planet Zoo DLC and why I have decided that this is going to be the last build for this zoo, on the 12th, so in literally 6 days, there will be a new DLC called the Wetlands Animal Pack. And we're getting 8 new animals, which is just so exciting. Some of them are so cute as well. For example, some of them I'm really excited for is the capybara. And we're also getting a platypus. I'm so excited for that. Perry the platypus is going to be so cute. And a different type of otter to the one from the aquatic pack. This one's going to be the Asian small clawed otter. And we're also getting a new type of bird. We're getting a red-crowned crane. There's not a lot of bird type animals in Planet Zoo, so it's really exciting. I actually photoshopped some bookshelf clip art to add into TV screens to just create bookshelves a lot quicker. If you want to know how to import your own images into Planet Zoo to put on the display screens, you need to have the right dimensions for the type of billboard screen that you're having, which they will say on the screens themselves. You need to go where you have your game saved, so if you've got it on a hard drive or on your own computer, so go into your documents, find Frontier Developments, and then if you've got other Frontier games, it'll be Planet Zoo and whatever. And then in Planet Zoo, you'll have a little folder called User Media. Copy or click and drag your images or sounds into your user media, and then when you open your game, it will be in your game. So when you select your TV screens, you can then change the image, and your files that you've added in then will be listed on the second tab for your own personal files. And what is a bakery without cake? The whole bakery is called I'd Rather Eat Cake. So I needed to make myself a little cake to put in the shop windows. Lots of bakeries display like fake cakes in their windows to entice people in. So I actually ended up using the light fixture for the cake stand, cake plate, some of the art shapes to create the tiered effect of the cakes. The cake topper that I picked for the tiered cakes kind of looked like the spade symbol on cards, and the Ace of Spades is used a lot in Ace imagery. Merchandise, memes, the Ace of Spades coloured with the asexual flag is used quite a lot. And the front desk now, I didn't want to just leave it that regular counter. I thought it looked really small, and I wanted the counter to be kind of shiny, so I used the opaque glass. And for like the counter tops, I used the one-way glass and kept the like darker opaque side at the top, so it looked like a shiny black surface, obviously keeping with the colour scheme for the pride flag. One of the reference images had this really cool pattern on the like bakery counter, which is kind of like mermaidy, the reference image I was looking at, but I wanted it to be kind of more dragony. One, I'm Welsh, and if anything goes by the asexual subreddit, it's pretty much stereotype that we like dragons too. We like cake, garlic bread, dragons. I'm using like a gutter cap because it was like a really small flexi-color object, and it kind of had rounded, it wasn't such sharp corners as like the small square. I wanted to add just a kind of abstract pattern of the different colours from the ace flag into the diamond scales pattern, and trying to make things like randomly patterned and not like following a set sort of pattern was kind of more difficult for me than I thought it would be. Trying to be random and just clicking different ones, recoloring them, making different patterns, and then I'll go back and I'll move things around because I'm not quite happy with how it is. You can sort of see that I was kind of enjoying more doing like little triangles and little diamonds, but I tried not to completely keep the same shapes for the same colours. And another reference image I found had this really interesting design at the back behind the counter. The top half of the building kind of went inwards, like how I've done it here, and then they had neon lights going up and around the curve. So I thought, oh, I can do that. We have these neon lights from the Europe pack, so I obviously made those purple, and I thought it had a really fun design. Like, it kind of looks like pipes, but it's just a really bright and colourful pipe effect, and that obviously makes it look really cool at night as well. One of my top tips, I guess, building any sort of building for Planet Zoo is do not put a roof on until right at the end if you want to decorate inside a building, because the lighting is not the best. No matter how bright you put your lights inside a building, it'll be really, really dark inside, so it'll be way easier just to keep the roof off until right at the end after you've done all of the decorations on the inside. And I used the Europe style fence, which I haven't actually used in anything, and it's so pretty and ornate. I wish I'd used it more than the more plain style fence that I'd used for the barriers around the spring section of the zoo. But I did want to add a few extra finishing touches around the building. So I grabbed the plants blueprint and I'll put the name of the creator underneath, and obviously linked in the description. I really like this little cart that they'd created, but I just ended up using like the base of the cart and recoloring it to match in with my ace color scheme. And I just added in another cake and some flowers just to kind of match it in nicely with the bakery, just to add a few extra little details around the entrance of the building. And then I added in some flower beds out the front just to cover the grass a little bit, and I lowered the flowers into the ground so they looked more like they were growing out of the grass rather than having the dirt texture underneath, so they look more like wild flowers. And these are really fun because they're flexi color, so I played around with the color a little bit and had some with some white in the center and had some all purple, and it helps it blend in with the rest of spring because the whole theme around this spring section was flowers, so adding lots of flowers around helps it blend in more with the theme of the section of the zoo. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the bakery I'd rather eat cake for the Bernie's Bakes cupcake counter shop. Really cute and cozy little bakery. I had a lot of fun making this and getting a little bit creative. Next week we will be doing the overview of the wetlands animal pack and having a look at all the brand new animals, and then we'll start a brand new zoo the week after. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and let me know what your favorite flavor of cake is. And if you haven't already and you would like to, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload speed builds on Wednesdays and shorts tutorials on Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful International Asexuality Day, or just a wonderful day if you're not watching this on the 6th of April, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!